male-female friendships without any. He was really after all the girls in camp. Like, you want to pay me? Your girlfriend who came to see you? No, that's not what happened. And the next thing, he just held me tight and like shoved me.
Nothing, but I know why you flash, at least they say something.
Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. This is Martha or Ekaete, and you're welcome to Ekaete Vlogs. Today we are going to be doing something different. If you watched my first video, I made mention of the fact that I was going to be doing series like relationship series, marriage series, you know, series of real life issues and things like that. This is kind of impromptu because I had a different video that I wanted to film today, but I was just looking at my YouTube demographic. I noticed that there were a lot of people, younger people that watch, you know, people in their 20s, people in their 30s. I did have quite a number of, you know, older, and I appreciate everybody that watches my videos, but I just came to, you know, the realization that, you know, I should maybe start off this series a bit sooner than I wanted to. You know, this is just an idea that I had to kick off this relationship series with a story time. Yeah, the subject of the story time, you can tell that this is not a fun story time. Nothing is actually funny. If you know me, you know that I like to always bring things back to home. I like to always, you know, be very relatable. I want to share my experience whenever I'm talking about something. I just don't like to be shoving things down anybody's throat. So I want to start this off with story time about a real life experience that I had while I was younger. I was 20, I think I was 22 or 23. Yes, I think I was around that age because I had just finished law school and I was going to do my service. So if you don't know already, the story time is starting. So this actually dates back to, like I said, I had just finished law school and I was sent to do my youth service. So just to explain what that means, in Nigeria, they have this nonsense thing that they do where when you're done with school, you have to serve your country. They'll basically send you to a different state. Usually they'll send you to a state that's far away from where you are from, just to kind of give you that all Nigeria experience. You start off with a camp. In this camp, it's kind of like a military camp. You're doing military stuff, like you're jumping, so many obstacle courses that you have to go through. You have to wake up military style very early in the morning. You have to march, you have to run, you have to do all kinds of nonsense as far as I'm concerned, because I was like, I don't know why I have to be doing this, you know, in the real world this doesn't make sense. So yeah, when you're done with the camp for 3 weeks, then you are posted to a place of primary assignment, which is basically a job. You are forced a job to have to carry out for the length of your service year, which is 1 year. That is basically what it is. I was posted to a state called Gombe, very, very far. I was then posted again to Niger State. And you know, at the camp is a place where things are happening. Married men and women, if your wives or husbands are going to camp, you cannot vouch for what is happening in there. I saw a lot of things in camp. Like, camp was crazy. You know, you're living young, red-blooded human beings in this space to just exist and be doing military stuff with no family member. Things finna go down, okay? So camp was crazy, but for me, I wasn't even interested in doing any type of crazy stuff. Like, my own was that I was like, I don't want to be here. So basically I got to camp. I was just existing, doing nothing, just basically going through the motions, going to my favorite spot to eat. I was just being me. I was just chilling. So in the process of, you know, camp and everything that goes on with it, I met this guy. Now, keep in mind, while I was in camp, before I went to camp, I was already in a serious relationship with my now husband. So he was even the one that took me to camp. He was the one that took my bags. He settled me in basically and then left. I wasn't, one of the people that would be trying to look for anything serious in camp. Plus, it's not in my nature to be doing side things anyway. So I was just really focused on being done with the whole thing. A lot of guys, they always want to try their luck. Guys want to have fun. Even the ones that are married, they're like, okay, this camp, we're going to do something before we leave here. So there was this guy now. I noticed that he was very flirtatious. He was really after all the girls in camp. It was after literally all the girls in camp. He tried his luck with me somehow. Right from when we met, he knew, like I told him, I'm in a serious relationship. It's not my thing to be doing things on the side. And he was, okay, I respect that, that's fine. So he will always give me gist of his other escapades with, trying out the other girls. I had a friend in camp. We were always together. So me and her will be sitting down eating. He will come join us. He'll be telling us, oh, that girl, and we'll just be laughing. We'll be like, Nawa, all the girls in this camp, do you want to finish all of them? Just that playful thing. And then we got really close in the sense that he was just a friend. He never crossed any boundaries. He never tried to push after he was told, after I cleared him the first time. He never tried to push again. For some other girls who try to be so touchy with them, but for me, he really respected my boundaries because he knew the type of person that I was after I communicated that with him. So everything was all good and dandy. When we're about to be done with camp, everybody exchanged contacts. Oh, let's do this, let's do that. Let's meet up whenever you come around. I was not going to be staying in the state that I did my camp, and I was able to be transferred to a different state, a neighboring state. So I was transferred to Abuja after I finished camp in Niger State, right? Are you following? You following this story now? We're moving up. So now I moved to Abuja. I got a job. I was posted to a bank job. So I was working in a bank while I was doing my service, right? So I was serving in the bank. Got a place to stay. Everything was going all right. Okay. So this day comes and he calls me. And he's like, oh, Martha, what's up? Been a long time, that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, wow, it's been a while. Oh, how far now? What's going on? And he was like, you know what? I'm in your town. I am in Abuja right now. First of all, I was in a state where I didn't really know, I knew nobody, to be honest. Just doing only going to work, come back. I needed to have some friendships, some companionship, some anything. I was at that stage where I felt like I needed to maybe try to loosen up a bit. So when he calls me up and tells me he's in my town, he wants to, let's hang out and all that. I thought about it okay, what the heck, what's there? Let me just go, let's because the truth is he was a very fun person to be around in camp. Okay, this is somebody that already knows how to be a male friend and not pushing for something else after the person has already told you where they stand. This is not a bad person to hang out with. So that day I told him, okay, I'm actually going to see my friend. So I went to go see her. And I said, okay, when I'm done with my friend, I will let you know, and then you tell me, we can hang out, things like that. And he was like, oh, actually going back, he's just at his friend's place and he's not even going to sleep there. He's going back because he also lived in a neighboring state. So I visited my friend, and when I was done with the visit, I called him and he told me, okay, this is where I am. He gave me an address. Keep in mind, I'm in Abuja. I don't really know too many places. I gave the taxi man the address and off we went. So I got to his place, and first thing I noticed was when he came up to get me, when I told him, okay, I'm here, and he came to get me, got into where he was. It was like an apartment, and this apartment, quite big, but I noticed that there were so many people. like it was like a party. I'm like, wow, okay. And that also, you know, made me feel more at ease, you know, like, okay, you know, everybody's here just hanging out. He was like, oh, do you want something to drink? I was like, no. So I was like, you know what, I'm fine. They were watching a movie. All the friends were like, hey, hi, fine girl, what's up, this and that one. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, what's up, and all that. There were guys, there were girls, so it was a mixture of everybody. Like, I didn't have any reason to think that that was not a good environment. So I sit down and I'm watching TV now, and you know, I noticed that because I started getting into the movie that we were watching in the middle of the movie, and I was looking around and I noticed that a lot of people had left. So I came in here, it was like a party, and people were just leaving one by one, and I wasn't noticing it because of how they were leaving. They didn't just pack up and leave. And I started to notice when there was literally one person left in the room. It was a living room, and that's when I was like, okay, this is my cue. This is my cue to leave. Because even the one person that was left, he was like, I saw him packing his stuff and leaving, and I'm like, okay. So when the one person left, I was like, why did all your friends leave? You know, what's going on? Instincts were already telling me that, look, something is not right. So I just wanted to still like water down the situation, because you know when you know that somebody is actually trying to hurt you or trying to do something, but you just want the person to feel like, I'm not scared, I'm fine, you know? So I was like, oh, where are all your friends? Just everybody. He's like, oh, they've left. And at that point, he started to grab me. So he started to like touch me, he started to like, and I was like, wait, what's going on? And he was like, Martha, you know, back in camp. I was like, yes. And at this point, he was still like trying to rub on me, and I was like trying to get him off me. My mind was like, look, it's not gonna happen. You know, this thing is not going to happen. But I was still like trying to be calm. I was like, wait. Because at some point we were gisting, we were just talking normal, like, oh, this is what happened. He was telling me where he was working, he was telling me this and that. He comes from a very well-to-do family, so that's something that we knew back in camp. He was the one that had the most expensive phone. He was the one that was always carrying wads of cash around. So I already knew he was this type of privileged kid. So I was like, wait, back in camp, I told you that this is not going to happen. I was not interested. You knew that, and you didn't push. He was like, and while he was talking, he was still, you know, I will move away, he will move in, I will move, he'll move, I will. And at some point, I saw him start to like, see, when these things happen, it's hard to describe it, because people will say, oh, so look, at that moment, things will be happening, 1,000 things will be happening all at the same time. Like when you remove one hand from here, he's grabbing here. You remove the hand from here, he's grabbing here. It was like he had 10 hands, literally. He started to get a bit more aggressive. I was like, you knew that I liked you. I told you that I like you. I told you this. He was trying to give me some nonsense talk. Oh, you're so sexy. Oh, you're so this. I was like, okay. I want to go, okay? I need to go, okay? It was nice, we caught up, it was nice catching up with you again. His expression changed, and he was a completely different person. And the next thing, he just held me tight and like shoved me on the chair. And I told him, I said, let me tell you something. You see this thing that you're trying to do? You're not going to succeed. I want you to know that I will not allow you to succeed today. And I just stood up and I ran. Let me tell you, it was a movie. Right now I can laugh. It was a movie. I stood up, I grabbed my bag, and I was running. I was racing because as he was still trying to like do all that, touching me with his 10 hands, like I was scanning the room. I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to exit. This is how I'm going to do it. I noticed while I was scanning and trying to plan an escape. I noticed, okay, the door is shut. What if it's locked? If I stand and I make my way to the door and it's locked, he's going to pin me. So I was like, okay. I'm still going to try. So while he was doing that, I stood up and I started to race. You know, just thinking about this really brings back memories. Like, it wasn't funny. In the moment, it wasn't funny. Of course, he caught up with me, he held me, and let me tell you something. I don't know how he dragged me into the room. I can sit here and tell you that till today, I don't know how he did that. The next thing I knew was he used all the energy that God gave men and shoved me into the room and closed the door and locked the door. So when he shoved me into the room, I was trying to pick myself back up and try to fight my way out of the room. He now, while I was trying to come back again, he now pushed me. Let me tell you, the force he used to push me to the bed was on the floor. It was a mattress on the floor. I remember it so clearly. Thank God there was a mattress, because the force would have really injured me. Like when I landed on the floor, he locked the door. Hey! And I said, oh. So I was calling his name. I said, you want to rape me? Wait, so you called me today? At that point, I stood up. And I told you, he was already this whole different person. He was already, like, he was like a monster at that point. So I stood up because I was like, I cannot remain on this bed. I cannot remain down. Like, even, you know how when you are under, you are already finished. There's no, my plan was I had to keep being up. I had to be on my feet. If he'll push me down, I stood up again, and I was like, you want to rape me? So you called me. You told me you are in town. And you called me with the intention of raping me. Is that what I'm getting? He said, oh, that I'm making it hard, that I just wanted to want us to have a nice time. And so I'm making it hard because I didn't come to your house and just volunteer to sleep with you. We're not in a relationship. We don't have anything. We don't have discussions like this. We haven't even texted and said, oh, this could be something that could happen. Like, where is this coming from? So I'm making it hard because that is not what I did. I said, let me tell you something. You're not going to rape me today. And then we started to battle. I battled for my life. We started to fight. He pushed me again. He came at me. I pushed him. I was hitting him. I was scratching him. The pants I wore that day saved me. Because at some point, he was really trying to get in, like he was trying to, and it was this very, you know, this skinny jeans. I wore skinny jeans that day. And he was trying to get in, and he was trying to like, but it was so tight. And then whenever he wants to try it, I'm pushing him. I was putting up the fight of my life. So we went at it for, it felt like 1 hour, but I'm sure that it was literally 10 minutes. I feel like I'm estimating that it probably wasn't more than 10 minutes, even though in the moment it felt like a year. We were going at it, and I feel like at some point he was exhausted, because good thing was he wasn't even that big of a guy, and I was putting up the fight of my life. He had pushed me, he had done this, he had my shirt. I can never forget my outfit that day. I wore a black long sleeve t-shirt, and then I had my denim and I tucked in. So my black shirt, he had ripped the buttons on it because it was a button down. So I think he had done everything he wanted. The only thing the denim was really giving him the time of his life. When we went at it for a while, like I said, I think something just switched in his head, because at that point I was locked in. I didn't have anywhere to go. The door was locked. He was with the key. I didn't know what to do. I knew that at this point I just had to keep fighting. I don't know where to go. I have nowhere to run to. So, you know, at the back of my mind I was like, God, please just let this guy stop. You know, just let him stop. Let him just stop. Really, that's all I'm asking. And somehow God heard my prayers, because I just noticed that while we were at it fighting, he just like Literally, this is what he did. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Martha. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Okay, okay, let me see you off. Literally, this is what he did. And then I was like, okay. And I was like, yes, okay. Like, I didn't know how to react, but my mind was like, okay, he's trying to let you out. He's stopping. So you cannot try to fight. Just play along and leave this house. The whole of this drama, he had already found a way to take off his clothes. He had taken off his shirts, his shorts. He was just wearing boxers. He was like, so I think at that point he now looked at himself. I'm like, okay. Let me dress up. He now went and opened the door. When he opened the door, I literally tiptoed, like he was right there, but I was just going like that. And I went out of the room. And I just stood in the living room because the living room door was locked, as I found again. So I stood there and I waited, and he said, okay, Martha, I'm coming, I'm gonna come open the door for you. Martha, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, Martha, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Really, I'm sorry. That's what he kept saying. He kept telling me he's sorry. And I'm like, he was literally singing it. And I was like, okay. Yeah, no, fine. Let's just go, okay? Can you open the door? He said, oh yeah. I'm gonna see you off. Let's go downstairs. I'm gonna put you in a taxi. Okay. Martha, I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. That is how we went. And then he put me in a taxi. I didn't let him pay. He was trying to pay. I was like, no, can you not? That was the only time, because the whole time I was just like meek and mellow and trying to not bring out the beast again. Like, let me just go leave his presence, because it was really traumatized. Like, I was going into the taxi with a ripped shirt. But when we got down and, he called the taxi and he wanted to pay, that's when I found my voice. I was like, no, just keep your money and make sure that I never see you again. He was like, I'm sorry, Martha, I'm sorry. I said, and that was all I said. Like, you want to pay me for trying to rape me? Or you want to pay for my cab fare so that I'm like your girlfriend who came to see you? No, that's not what happened. If I came to see you and we were just chilling, then maybe you can pay for my cab fare as a nice friend. But you just literally tried to, no. I didn't want anything to have to do with him. And I went into the taxi and I went home. So that is my near rape story. I decided to share this story today because I really wanted to speak to a lot of people when it comes to friendships. The reason I actually did this video is because, we always talk about this thing of, there's nothing wrong with male-female friendships, which I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just trying to tell you what could happen in that dynamic. But this is what happened to me, right? We have to be careful with, how we form friendships. And like I was saying earlier in the beginning, I'm advocating for just people being aware that, like when you're driving, right, and you're on your lane and there's somebody else who is coming. He's coming towards you. You can't just sit back and say, well, I'm sure he's seeing me. I'm sure he has sense. He's on the road. You have to think in the direction of, okay, what if this person that is coming here is a lunatic? What do I do in a situation where he doesn't stop? And then you have to find a way to get yourself out of that situation. You should approach it in the sense of, okay, I know where I stand, but I cannot be certain. I cannot stake my life on it and say that I know where this person stands. So you cannot try to always act in your own knowledge. You can't always say, okay, this is what I know that I'm this way, and I feel like this person should be like this. You can't assume how people should be. And that is one thing that I want people to take away from this experience that I've just shared. People are different. This world is sick. There's a lot of sick people in the world. There's a lot of people that we cannot understand their thought process. Looking back, you know, if you want to ask me what the lesson I learned was, what I take away is that maybe I didn't read the signs, kind of just took it that okay, he understands the concept of no. But you know, now that I think about him, like, because the 3-week period that I knew him wasn't enough for me to assume that he understands the concept of no. There are a lot of people that feel like you should not decline them, you should not tell them no. From where they grew up, from their families, from their homes, nobody's telling them no. Their parents are giving them everything that they want. You know, they're always having their way, and they take that into their friendships and relationships and feel like they should always be in a position where they have their way. My major lesson here is that now, in hindsight, don't go visiting male friends that you just met in their homes. At least that one, I'll stick with it because of my experience. I feel like it wasn't enough time, like I said, to know him enough to visit him at home. I guess don't live in fear. Just always be aware. Always be aware that somebody else might not be you. Yeah, I guess that's the lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed my story. At least you took something away from this story. It was a very traumatic experience. I've never been in that type of situation before. Never. That's my story, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, this is the beginning of my relationship and marriage series. This series doesn't actually stop everything else that I'm going to be doing on my channel, but yeah, it's something that I'm just starting off. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear your experience as well. I have an email. If you don't want to share your experience in the comment section, you can always send me an email and I will respond to you. I promise I will respond to all communications to me. I promise. If you watch this video to the end, just comment something like love. That's it. Just comment love. Don't leave without commenting. Okay, I want to know those that watched my video to the end. You know, it's important to me to know that. But yeah, until the next time we see, take care of yourself, be good, be happy, continue to strive. You know, I'm rooting for you. I will see you on the next one. Bye.